Well, monastic life traditionally is found in the Catholic Church mostly. Our order, the Cistercians of the Strict Observance, was started in 1098, and that was a reform of Benedictine monasticism, which started around 550 or so. So it's a very ancient part of the church, and of course it goes back even into the 2nd century. So there's always been monks and nuns, more or less, in the Catholic Church. And the word monk means mono, alone, one with God. So we as monks come together to search for God. I mean, our basic vocation is to grow in Christian perfection and communion with God. That's the bottom line of the monastic vocation. And another part of the church, very old tradition, is the liturgy of the hours, or the divine office, as it's sometimes called. That's the major part of our public prayer, communal prayer, which we chant in church 7 times a day, starting our first office prayer service is 2:25 a.m., called vigils, getting up in the middle of the night to keep watch with the Lord until the break of day. That's a very ancient monastic tradition, and we still do that. And then throughout the day, we consecrate the whole day by having prayers throughout the day, certain hours. There's lauds called mid-morning, usually around daybreak, and then there's terce, which is 3, sext, 6, none, 9. So that's 3rd, 6th, and 9th hour of the day. And then there's vespers in the afternoon, late afternoon, and finally compline, which completes the day. And then we go, we go to bed at 7 p.m. very early, because we get up so early, obviously. So the monastic life, like I say, is union with God, Christian perfection, and a major way in that is the divine office. We also have the holy sacrifice of the Mass every day, which is the center, the spiritual center piece of the day. So those are the major components. And then also I should say the monastic life is made up of 3 major components, which is prayer, manual labor, and what is called Lectio Divina, or basically study of the Bible or sacred reading writings of the church fathers, ancient church fathers. So that's kind of a triad of the foundation of monastic life. And in the 21st century, of course, it's taken many modern spins. Some of us have cell phones, and computers, of course, are used widely in our business, obviously. And our library is cataloged on computers. But still, we have a separation. Another major part of monastic life is separation from the world. The tradition is to have a self-contained community. That's why when agriculture was the main economic force for many centuries, you could self-sustain, basically. You grew your own food, you had your own mill to process flour or whatever. So it was sort of a self-contained community. And that's not a rejection of the world, but that's a drawing to ourselves and to God, so we can concentrate totally on our mission of union with God. In the 21st century, as I say, we have some modern communication, but still We do not leave the community normally. We have our own cemetery, so when you come here, you make final vows. You're here for the rest of your life, literally, and you're buried here on the monastery property. So it's a lifetime commitment. So that's pretty much what a monk is, even in the 21st century with its nuances, but the principal cores are still the same as they were in ancient times.